Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning or this afternoon or this evening, depending on where you are in the world today. We're going to dive in here with Birgit Bekker from Ultimate Safaris into exclusive use and remote camps and lodges in Namibia. Namibia, of course, is a country of only 2 million people, so finding remote places and open space and social distance is kind of ingrained in the country and in the culture. So not too hard to find experiences that will get you away from people and into really remote and beautiful places like the image on your screen. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Tad Bradley, the North American sales rep for Ultimate Safaris from the Kusini collection out here in, believe it or not, sunny Seattle. And Birgit is joining us live from Windhoek in Namibia. I'm going to throw it over to her in a second just to let you know, as far as Q&A goes, we will do a live Q&A after the presentation. And if you would just enter your questions into the Q&A field or the chat field, and we'll take all of those at the end. And now I'm going to leave it to Birgit to take us on this virtual journey around private and exclusive use and remote Namibia. So hello, Birgit, over in Windhoek.
Hello, Tad. Hello, everybody. Just so you know, Tad's my wingman on the presentation, so he always runs the slides. So if there's a bit of a slight delay, I do all the talking. He does all the moving of slides, just faster, given maybe an internet. Yes, 2020 is definitely a year we will remember for all the right reasons, for all the wrong reasons. A lot of tragedy, loss, hopelessness, fear, but also hope. We set, a change in perspective in our priorities. You hear a lot of news in the Northern Hemisphere about stories saying how locals have claimed back their city, like Amsterdam. The dangers of over-tourism is being questioned. Are those huge tourism profits really necessary when a place like Venice is now exclusively tourist and not local anymore? What impact does mass tourism have on local environments and communities? Do we need cruise ships? The thing, though, is Namibia, the situation was always slightly different. Before virus, after virus, during virus. The lack of a really comprehensive infrastructure, given the vast distances, even if good, and the lack of easily available water meant that, tourism could never quite explode to the level of other destinations. And, without trying to use the COVID-19 virus as a marketing point, Namibia actually has currently one of the lowest cases in the world. We had no deaths, not a single death, and 3/4 have already recovered. We've got a mere handful currently still with the virus. We've been very fortunate in our desert bubble. And as Tad says, social distancing, it is a way of life in Namibia. If you compare our stats to the UK, for example, where there live over 671 people per square mile, or California, which has 254 people per square mile, given that Namibia is twice the size of California and 4 times the size of the UK. We really do mean it when we tell you, breathe, come to us, and get away from it all. Namibia is the second least densely populated country in the world, and it really has always been a part and parcel of the social distancing, which Corey can explain why our coronavirus situation hasn't exploded as we all terribly feared. Life hasn't changed much in Namibia during our lockdown, and yes, Namibia also had experienced lockdown. We are slowly opening up to phase 3 next week. Still only international borders are closed, but even during all this lockdown, light pollution continues to be low, as it always was. We have the only dark sky night reserve in Africa. You only need to drive 10 minutes out of town to enjoy complete nature silence without any man-made noise like airline flyovers, which were always very minimal, even our busy tourism season. And another thing that is quite an advantage in Namibia, flu and cold season thrives in cold, wet conditions. But Namibia pretty much guarantees sunshine. If you want to boost your immune system, recover a little bit, get some UV lights, some vitamin D in place, we guarantee sunshine, even in winter, which is knocking on our doors, and I'm wearing 3 layers of clothes, including a down jacket as we speak. We don't have winter rains, we only have summer rains. So it's just another thing that, by natural, Namibia had a little bit of natural immunity to certain things. But more importantly, little did we know that the way we do things at Ultimate, the ultimate way of arranging safaris, is now something that suddenly everybody's talking about. Oh, this is how we should run tours in the future. We've always run small group tours, maximum 7 guests per vehicle, averaging 4 to 6 guests per vehicle. We don't ever use buses, ever. We don't sub-hire them. If people ask for mass group tours, we just politely decline, saying, sorry, that's not what we do. We also often book private charters instead of making use of air taxi hops. There's an assumption that private charters are always more expensive. And yes, if you're only 2 people, they generally are. But as soon as you're 4 to 6, 7 people, there's amazing affordability. And given the vast distance of flying from A to B in Namibia, the shortest flight is an hour, the most average flights are 2 to 3 hours. You really don't want to sit in an air taxi and hop between different airstrips, pick up passengers, drop off passengers, and then find that your 2-hour direct flight ends up being a 4-hour hop around the way. And another thing, again, this is just a default setting in Ultimate Safaris, is we prefer small camps, 5 to 8 rooms averages. We stay clear from the mass tourism franchise hotels. We've catered for some small groups, and even then we steer them towards small and personal. This is the way we do it. We were so adamant about the small exclusivity that a couple of years ago we went into building our own camps, which was what we call our Under Canvas camps, our exclusive Under Canvas camps. Very exciting experiences for us. Most importantly, these camps were always booked privately, be it for honeymooners, for your multi-generation family, for mates wanting to hang out. The whole emphasis on Under Canvas with us was private exclusivity in our tents. Huab Under Canvas was our first baby. We're still as proud of it now as 4 years ago we built it. It's a classic tent camp, ensuite facilities, bucket showers, and flush loos. Again, we have up to 8 tents on this camp, but we only ever book this exclusively. So if you have 2 guests, they get this camp to themselves. A very cool rock pool, private guide, your own camp cook, no shortage of divine meals, freshly prepared, excellent wine collection, all inclusive, gin and tonics and beers. And all these things work really, really, really to your guest's favor. But the most special part of what Huab Under Canvas is that it's the only place in Namibia where you can go private rhino trekking in support of Save the Rhino Trust with their rhino rangers. I don't think even in Southern Africa you get the chance of guaranteed private exclusive bases, because of course we book the camp on private exclusive bases. You go rhino trekking, so your family can go. There's no age restriction. Safety is always considered. It's tailored to your guests. A lot of emphasis at our Under Canvas camps is no set routine. Not all people all gather at the breakfast table at 6 o'clock to go on activity at 6:30. It's tailored to when your guests want to go. I mean, where else do you have something that's so privately arranged for them? An era where you're constantly told what you're not to do, not allowed to do, and where you're not allowed to go, and what time you have to go, and what time is curfew. It is so nice to go to Africa and for once not be told what time it must happen for you, but rather say, hey, this is your camp. Whatever works for you, we'll make it happen for you. And another really, really cool experience at Huab Under Canvas is, I'm sure all of us are suffering from cabin fever and looking at 4 walls around us, surrounding us is stifling. So we do sleep outs at Huab Under Canvas. Again, maximum private height, 6 guests only. Ideally on 3 nights as part of a hiking trail. It can be short or long. Imagine that you're sleeping under that Milky Way. Currently, we see Jupiter and Saturn and Mars in the stars in the early mornings. Of course, Scorpio you see, Venus and Mercury are currently up at sunset. I mean, how do you not want to be outside and experience this spectacle? Fully catered to your guests. I'm always happy to send you more information on these stellar escapes. In this presentation, I'll just do a bit more overview of these camps to really just get you excited. And we can always do the detail, and I'll send you the details through. Following on Huab Under Canvas, we started Camp Sossus, which started as a more under canvas camp, became much more glam after a while. We still have bucket showers, we still have flush toilets. But what's really, really exciting about this camp is that we've got, again, star beds. Look at us, we're obsessed with sleeping under the stars, right on top of your room. This emphasis here is, it's the desert. You're supposed to enjoy it in quiet, tranquility, away from people. Desert is solitude. Desert is silence. Desert is away. So a lot of activities at Camp Sossus are catered on going exploring by foot, by bike. We have this beautiful breakfast up on the plateau. Again, let's get out of the buildings. Let's get away from the rooms. privately catered. We do visit Sossus, which is a main tourist attraction. Yes, lots of people there, but again, when we talk Namibia, lots of people, it's probably still relative to if you look at Europe and its mass tourism challenges. Then our latest edition, is our exclusive use villa for the very high-end family, VIPs, those that want the best of the best at extreme luxury. Here we have a curated private chef, not just a camp cook, the best signature guides taking guests around. This suites are best for families. It's got 3 suites, 1 master bedroom and 2 suites, all en suite. It has a very intimate feeling. This is so wonderful for families again, you know. Okay, I mean, it's debatable nowadays, so some families are cooped up in a cabin together. But even once they want to escape, you know, they might be so used to being together and having that quality time. It'll be quite a shock to a system to suddenly go to a lodge where you have to share with other people and suddenly have to do petty small talk at dinner. But how old is your child? This deals with a very high-end, exclusive experience. But Ultimate hasn't been the only operator who's been promoting exclusive use beyond this award-winning villa. A lot of our close partners, such as Wolvedans, has been ahead of the game with exclusive camps before as well. The Wolvedans Mountain Suite is a good example. And they've got their own chef and private guide to host guests. Because a lot of lodges have suites, but the guests still have to go down to the main area and share a dining experience with all the other lodge guests, which kind of defeats the whole point of exclusivity. So Wolvedans Mountain Suite has always just worked it, and it's one of my personal favorite. Actually, no, my personal favorite in the Wolvedans collection is the Wolvedans private camp. This camp rocks for families, honeymooners. This is a desert bubble. You've got your own chef and guide, but they also discreetly leave at night. So you really have this all to yourself, the most gorgeous lounge area. And this is something that Wolvedans built many years ago, before even anybody thought about, you know, social distancing, at a very reasonable price. But then, of course, beyond just exclusivity, we also prefer generally working with smaller lodges. Generally, in the 5-star market, you will find quite a few camps that keep it small, 3 to 5 rooms max. Sometimes you can book them exclusively if you book for all 3 rooms. Often these suites are rarely fully booked, so you find yourself sharing very little with other guests. Again, Wolvedans ahead of the curve. The boldest camp is in the most remotest part of the Namibia Reserve. Talk about desert remoteness. They insist on 3 nights at the boldest camp to really have you that immersive experience, you know, just to sit back and breathe. At only 3 rooms, although they're very rarely fully booked. Again, it's exclusive, private, guaranteed. And then in the Etosha area, we have actually quite a wonderful selection of private or small luxury camps. Little Ngaba, again, was decades ahead of many, built 3 suites. You can book it on exclusive basis. We book all 3 suites, or we share it with other guests. Small, intimate experience, and of course, scrumptious suites. Then other Etosha experiences include the eastern side of Etosha, Villa Moshara. These pictures aren't the best. This is the best I could find. They still have to send them to me. But I've been there. It's probably one of the exquisitely best designed villas in Namibia. Only 2 villas. Again, spacious. You know, I think sometimes we forget Namibia is all about space. So why scrounge up in this small little room? Only 2 villas. But at the same time, you know, we are aware that, you know, not everybody's got the 5-star budget, even if we all dream about it. And a personal favorite from Ultimate Safaris is the Unguma Treetops Camp. And we use it on all our scheduled departures. The Ultimate Namibia and Namibia Under Canvas. Only 4 tree houses. They are looking at adding a 5th tree house next year. They had one of the tree houses burned down, but we're all waiting and seeing. But they're always going to keep it small and intimate, affordable. So where else can you get an affordable lodge? Beautiful views, you know, busy waterhole, and only 3 tree houses. Then another popular favorite and partner of ours, the Okonjima collection. They've got a range of options, and the Okonjima Bush Suite is that one that you can book exclusively, or for your family or couples. It's 2 suites with ensuite facility with a shared veranda experience. So you get to do all the African experiences with a private guide and not miss out. And then the Okonjima Villa, which is where also Brangelina stayed many years ago. Again, you have the option, you can book it exclusively, all 3 rooms, or you can do it on sharing basis. The best part of the villa is there's so many nooks and crannies where you can just hide and read your book in private. So even if you have it on a shared basis with other guests you don't know, no one's in each other's face. There's plenty of space to just, social distancing. It's becoming such a cliche already, I think. Um, then camp we don't talk about a lot, but we actually love it. And I know it's unpronounceable, even I can't say it. It's Ochimbondona. It used to be a farm, owner run. Um, Only 4 villas are beautiful for families. It's stunning. They also do mountain biking and guided walks and farm drives, and they've got some wildlife on the area. And we always say if people have time, we so wish people had more than 10 days for Namibia. We say, why don't you end your stay here? Spend a few nights there. Again, let's just take a breather. Take a step back, take a deep breath and be aware that there are some places in the world they really are getting away from it all. Last, but definitely not least, Kamanduli is currently under construction. This is artist rendering. We had to pause our construction until things are back up normal. One of our own camps. It's going to be the first camp by Ultimate Safaris that is going to be sharing bases with other guests, but at only 6 rooms. And the way we like to, run things is going to have a very high staff to guide ratio, because for us as Ultimate, it's about getting away from the masses, have an intimate experience that's personally created to your guests, create that bubble. Even if you share the lodge with other guests, most likely you find that they're very like-minded people, and that's really what it is all about. Now, things have been happening back here in Namibia at Ultimate Safaris. It's been frustrating. We haven't had welcomed any guests in 2 months. The airport's been closed. I didn't have to wear my uniform in 2 months. But we've been busy, and one of them is we've been busy negotiating bounce back specials. They're considered like green season specials, except the experience is extended. So the green season is usually January to March annually. We've been able to negotiate on most of these properties from October until March next year. We are so ready in Namibia. We've always been ready. We are absolutely ideally placed to host your guests. So when everything's right, when the timing is right, we can't wait to welcome you. We will launch these bounce back specials soon. We're busy packaging some itineraries, and then we'll share it with you as well. But for those that have already reached out to us for customized costings, we have been working on them, which lodges which were, a part of that deal, and included them in your costs. And yeah, so now, as we all are doing, we're waiting, we're seeing, we're busy behind the scenes. A lot of things are normal in Namibia, and now we just wait until our international borders can be open and we can welcome you to our land. Endless horizons, wide open spaces, breathe. This has been something that has been part and parcel of the Namibian culture. So we can't wait for your guests to escape and come visit us again. Thank you.
Thank you, Birgit. Man, you're so good. I'm going to turn on my video here, and if you want to do the same, just so people can see our faces, hopefully it'll work across
you stopped it. Hold on, let me just do this. Start video. Can you start mine? Hold on.
I mean, maybe I have to turn yours on or let you do it. Here you go. Now you should be able to.
Okay. Start video. Can you see me?
There you are. Good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you guys.
You're so good at these short and sweet webinars. I find myself when I do these deep dives, I'm trying to shoot for 30 minutes and I end up droning on for 45 or more. So well done.
My goodness.
You are the best.
I hope I didn't talk too fast. Tad always gives me WhatsApps while I present, says, slow down, slow down, slow down. So I didn't get any WhatsApp from Tad. So I hope the pace was good enough.
It was great. And gosh, the stellar escape had me, Birgit. I am ready to get back under the stars in Namibia and at Huab or the starbed at Camp Sossus, you name it. It looks amazing. Look at this picture on the screen here. I mean, again, if you, I love how you emphasize the social distancing is really in the Namibian DNA. So it's something.
And those two are a married couple, so that doesn't.
There you go. Good clarification. We do have a few questions, which I'll get to here. One of them is actually about the stellar escape and just concerns about safety. How do you protect against lions and leopards and wild beasts while sleeping under the stars at Huab?
So, we tease about it, but it's actually not a tease. Namibians are quite shy, as is our wildlife, which is somewhat frustrating when you go on game drives. Our leopards are very, very stealthy, and you very rarely see them in the wild. Um, we don't have lions in the areas where we operate under canvas, so it's very safe. Leopards don't come through, no predators come through. Um, so, of course, we're very careful where we operate, but the Huab Under Canvas, they have leopards on site, but very shy and they stay away. Because look at this area, they can hide it. We talk social distancing. Our predators know all about staying away from humans as much as possible. And lions are not in this area. And again, by default, they tend to be quite shy. We would not set up camps in wildlife-rich areas, predator-rich areas.
Yeah. Do you know, this is the eternal question, but I'll ask it. Do you know when Namibian borders will open again for tourism without a quarantine? What's the scuttlebutt on the street there?
Yes. So we're going into phase 3 on Monday, which is a great sense of celebration because finally we can buy beer again. I ran out of beer 2 weeks ago.
Yay! Whoa, that's big news.
Yeah. So
Small
schools are going to
victories.
open in June, late in June and July. We've been, restaurants are slowly opening up. So internally, domestically, things are opening up. The preliminary thing is to look at the first ease of gradual border opening in July, but we predict it'll probably only be regional. And of course, high-risk countries might be not allowed in a few months. It's all debatable. Things happen faster than we thought. So borders are still closed to all travel, except for import-export truck drivers, but not even South Africans can come into Namibia until June. July, they're looking at gradual opening. We predict places like Botswana and Namibia might open between the two countries. And then the deadline is up to September. So August, we'll look at international borders with some conditions. Currently, quarantine is a worry. They haven't decided yet what will happen when we open to international borders, because that means quarantine facilities. Do we just stop international or high-risk destinations for now? So I'm pretty much the same probably as most countries. We don't know, just like probably most of you don't know. We're taking it month by month. But I think Namibia will probably be fast in easing up the borders than South Africa. And our concern is that a lot of our guests are traveling via South Africa. So we're also watching South Africa very closely and how quick they are to open the international borders and what quarantine they're putting in place. Because there's no point if guests go in transit via Johannesburg and sit there for 2 weeks.
Right.
So wait and see. We don't know. And we're just watching. Like I think probably the rest of the world is in their own countries.
I think the only certainty right now is uncertainty,
Yes.
Unfortunately, which is a hard place to be in. But
Yeah.
Michael, thank you so much for your kind comments. Said it was a great refresher, and he's been posting photos to his Facebook page. And Namibia is spectacular, as is Ultimate Safaris. So well done. Marianne, I see your hand is raised. So like I am now a good homeschool PE and science teacher. I got promoted to science teacher recently. I am happy to call on you if you have a question. Just put it into the Q&A form. If not, we will answer further questions via email anytime. I do have one last question myself, Birgit, is just in terms of the exclusive use properties, Huab and Camp Sossus with Ultimate's properties, can you give just a general ballpark price point? I know for groups of 4 or more for 2 or 3 days, it really becomes a pretty exceptional value given that it's exclusive use.
Oh, I have it somewhere. I don't know by heart. Yeah, we usually open the camps from 4 people onwards. But the other day, I mean, we're pretty much on par with like a typical wilderness classic camp. So Huab Under Canvas will be cheaper than Desert Rhino Camp for what is essentially very similar camps, but on private basis with other private bases. But I'll send you those details through, Ted. I don't know them off by heart.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's all we've got question-wise, Birgit. So thanks everybody for joining us today. If you missed anything, as always, we will be archiving this webinar on the Cassini collection page. Ultimate maybe also doing it on your page, but you can always find all our webinars on YouTube. So just check out our YouTube channel for this one as well as any others in the past. And we will be doing more of these webinars with Birgit over the coming weeks and months. So stay tuned for the announcement on other topics to come. And I think the next one may be around more information on those bounce back specials kicking off in October, which is exciting. And
Yes.
fingers crossed we can start
Yeah.
to move around the world again in
Mm.
that time frame. So have a great rest of your day on this side of the world, and Birgit, have a good evening on your side.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much for your time. Bye,
Always a
everyone.
pleasure. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.